Is your dream still alive? Do you still have a big vision for your life? Do you still have big dreams that you go after? If so, what's stopping you from getting to that place? What's stopping you from actually pursuing them or giving 120% or any of the other things? Like, what's stopping you from it? We gotta identify these types of things. Again, we hear the stuff over and over again, but this is a programming. It's funny because I was just out in again, I was doing a little traveling. I was just out in Nashville, and anytime I'm out, I always have conversations with people. I was sitting down with a lady at the front desk of our hotel, and we are having some conversations about money, but really also about mindset and about how we're programmed to, right, kind of feed into the entertainment, to all the other things. And I said, all this is an unlearning, right? That's all this is. It's an unlearning. If you feel like you have some moves you want to make and some financial things, but you're not educated, you don't know, just reprogram yourself. Change the way you think. If you change your thinking, you'll change your life. If you change how you think about money, you'll be able to change it. And she got it. It's always exciting because you guys get a chance to hear this often, but there's so many people out there that don't even know the things that we're talking about. They don't know that they're being programmed. They don't know that they can unlearn and relearn new information. But once you have that, and once you know that like you're aware that there's some programming that you have to kind of unlearn, right? That you got to kind of unravel these processors in your brain about how you think of things, and then you can get different outcomes. Once you understand that, your whole life can change. Your whole life can change. And so constantly explaining that to people gets us to, one, remember it ourselves, but two, it allows us to empower people that they can make the change that they need. Same thing for y'all. You can make the change that you need. You can make the change that you want to see happen, but we got to do the work. That's the key. We got to do the work. Some things ET said in there, right? The bigger the dream, the more effort you're going to have to put in. If you have a huge dream, if you have a ginormous God-sized goal and dream, that means you're going to have to put in some more work than the average person. You can't look around at the people that are at your level or behind you or whatever the case is and think that you can do the same amount of work if your dream is bigger. It means we got to do some more work. It also means you got to get around the right people that are feeding you the right things. That's why proud of y'all for continuing to stick here. But you got to find your tribe. You got to find people that are thinking about things in the same way, that are on a similar mission as you, that you all can again feed off of each other, hold each other accountable. All of those things are important for you getting to the life that you want. And you heard ET say some of those things in there. I think though, one of the things that it completely comes back to, I think it comes down to your work ethic. I think it comes down to how hard you're willing to work, how smart you're willing to work, but just in general that you're willing to do the work in all areas of your life, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be willing to do the work. We talk about this all the time, but you have to look at yourself in the mirror. You got to spend some time saying, am I willing to do the work? What's your work ethic like in all areas? Not just do you show up to the job you have? That's one side of it. But are you willing to do the hard things? Are you willing to work at your health? Are you willing to work at your finances? Are you willing to work at your relationships? Like, do you have a world-class work ethic? This is what separates the good from the great. This is what separates the champions. And these are the nuances. You can't be scared of the work. Here's what it says in the text. 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class. It says here, amateurs work just hard enough to escape being fired. Their belief system demands they be compensated for every action they take on the job. If they can be overcompensated, that's even better. The pros have the exact opposite belief. The only way you'll ever outwork one of the great ones is to become them. They know there's no such thing as overcompensation, at least not in the long term. The pros know that a free economy marketplace will always correct itself. They also know the marketplace will richly reward a world-class work ethic with an endless stream of opportunities. This work ethic is the reason so many immigrants come to this free world and become millionaires. They remember where they came from and what it took to get them to the land of the free. They're so grateful for the opportunity to work hard that no one can convince them to slow down. Nido Qubein, a Lebanese immigrant, came to America with only a dream and a world-class work ethic and built an empire. Immigrants are 4 times as likely to become millionaires as American-born citizens. This startling statistic boils down to one thing: a world-class work ethic. We're lazy here in the States, y'all. We're lazy. We get lazy. We think things should come simply. We think we deserve certain things. We think that there's a form of entitlement here. We think that some things should just be given to us. But that's why someone can come from a completely different country, have no money, have no resources, leave their life behind, struggle, push themselves, and they can become successful here in America. Why? Because of their work ethic, because of what they're able to put forward, because they're not scared to go after their goals or go after the life that they want. They're leaving a place where they don't have those opportunities. They get a chance to come here and then be able to build those things. Sometimes we lose perspective in that. We lose sight of that. We think that things should be comfortable, things should be handed to us. This is too hard. I just want to be comfortable. That's not the way this works. If we want to go off and design our ideal life, we want to get to the life we don't need a break from, we got to develop a better work ethic. We got to be able to put ourselves in a position where we know we're willing to work. We're willing to put ourselves in a position. It says here that the marketplace will richly reward a world-class work ethic. That's what you want. You want to get rewarded for your work. And again, we're not just talking about what you choose to do for a career or what you choose to do at your job, right? We're talking about all of the work that it takes to become the ideal version of yourself, to become the best version of yourself, the work that takes, the work to be disciplined, the work to wake up early, the work to do what you say you're going to do, to have integrity, right? That's what integrity is. It's you keeping the promises you make to yourself. If you say you're going to wake up at a certain time, you do. If you say you're going to make your bed every day, you do. If you say you're going to make some calls, you do. Like whatever you say you're going to do, you do it. That is a form of work ethic. That is a form of you keeping promises that you make to yourself and then continuing to work at those things. Sometimes, again, we just put this work in what we physically do or what we choose to do to make money. But hopefully, you're picking this up by being on these calls that this is an internal game. The work that we have to do is internal work. It's work on your spirit, it's work on your soul. It's work on your mindset. It's your mental toughness, it's your emotional intelligence. That's the work. It's learning how to have patience, right? Like this is the work. And this is what they mean by having a world-class work ethic. So you have to ask yourself, right? Where's your work ethic? Was 2024 the year, it wasn't the year you wanted it to be because you didn't work hard enough? Because maybe you didn't put the work in the right areas? There's a big difference between being busy and being productive. Big difference, right? Some people say, hey, I'm really busy. I don't have any time. And that would make you think that they have a world-class work ethic, but maybe they're just being busy doing the wrong things. I had a mentor of mine used to always say, right? Some people are just busy being broke. They're just busy being broke. They're constantly busy, but there's nothing producing out of this. So your work ethic also comes down to where you're pointing that attention, where you're putting your energy. And so in 2025, if you want this year to look different than last year, what are the areas that you need to improve your work ethic? What are the areas that you need to be a little bit more intentional, a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more focused on the work of that side? And if we can focus on those things, if you have a big goal, you have big dreams, you have a vision, all the stuff is written down, you're reading it to yourself, you're seeing it every day. You're planning it in your mind's eye. Because again, whatever your mind can see, whatever you can see in your mind, you can hold with your hand. If you can't see it in your mind, if you can't imagine it, if you can't envision what your life looks like, what financial freedom looks like, what, right, being great in your health, successful in your relationships, if you can't even see what that looks like, likely you won't know how to get there. But if you can at least see it, You can imagine it. You can think about exactly what the goal is. You can hold it in your hand. The only difference is now we have to start doing the work. We have to start doing the work. Okay, if I know I see myself as a right Fortune 100 CEO, I make $500,000 a year. How would that person react? How would that person move about their day? What type of energy do they have? Where do they put their focus? And now I have to do the work to become that person that I saw in my mind's eye. I know I'm not there yet, but the person that I saw, the things that I could imagine in my mind, now I have to do the work in order to become that person. You don't just land on that person. It's going to take all types of changes, right? And decisions that you're going to have to make across this down this path in order to become that man or woman. I'm just here to remind you that it takes work. ET is here to remind you that it takes work, that you have to wake up and you have to get after it. You you have to do whatever is necessary, whatever it takes attitude. That's how we get to the life that we want. That's how you get to the life where you don't need a break. It's because you do all of the work up front. Again, these sayings I remember from mentors of mine. They used to say, right, the price must be paid in full up front. The price must be paid in full upfront. Whatever life it is that you're asking for, whatever the goals and dreams are, whatever you see for your life, the big grandiose things, taking care of your family, traveling, like whatever the things you see, that price must be paid in full upfront before you get any of those things. Question is, are you willing to pay the price? If you're willing to pay the price, you'll probably have great work ethic because nothing will stop you. You won't have mornings of, again, you're always going to have days where you don't feel like it, guys. You're always going to have times you don't feel like doing the hard work. That's natural. I'm not saying you should feel like doing it all the time, but you should still do it. We should still do it regardless of how we feel. This is the mental toughness part. This is the emotional intelligence part. This is how we grow our capacity to handle the life that we're asking for, is because regardless of how we feel, we do it. So you got to know, you got to develop your work ethic this year, yo. You got to develop, you got to raise your level of work. This quote here says, amateurs hope, professionals work, right? Hope is not a strategy. We should have hope, yes, but hope is not a strategy. Working is the strategy. Working brings more opportunities in whatever area of your life that you want to see improvements. So we got to focus on the work. The action step for today says, on a scale of 1 to 7, 7 being highest, rate your work ethic. If you score less than a 5, upgrade to commitment, upgrade your commitment to work, upgrade your commitment to get to work. And again, work in the areas that you know you need help in. You know, these are the areas that if you just shift these little couple things, your business will take off, your relationships will take off, your health will take off. Like whatever it is, those things are, they're just probably small shifts that you can just realize and identify, man, I haven't been working hard in this area. I've been a little lazy in this area. I've put this area to the back burner. I know the thing that I really need to do. Maybe it's personal development. Maybe it's some reading. Maybe it's some what you're consuming, what you're listening to. Maybe you've been a little lazy, a little lax in what you've allowed to let into your mind. Maybe you've been a little lazy or a little lax about who you've allowed in your ear or the things you've been around. Maybe you've been a little lax in your health. Maybe you've been a little lax in your spending. Maybe, right, there's some areas that you know if you just improved your work ethic, if you just made a commitment to upgrade your work ethic in that area, you know you'd have a lot of changes. You know some things would change in your life. Those are the areas I challenge you to pay attention to, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's hard. I know it's uncomfortable, but this is how we grow. If you want 2025 to be different, you got to grow. You got to grow through this thing. And there's going to be tough seasons, and there's going to be some areas in your life that you're lazy and you're just, right, you haven't committed to doing the work. And it's like getting back into the gym for the first time, and you're going to be sore and it's not going to feel good. I challenge you to do those things today. Challenge you to do those things. Push yourself today to do the hard things. Your future self will thank you for it. You got to choose your hard. I heard a lot of these messages over this weekend, right? But you got to choose your hard. It's hard to be successful. It's also hard to be unsuccessful, right? It's hard to get fit. It's really hard to be to be out of shape too, right? Both sides is hard. You just got to choose your hard. And because we're here on this call, we're here to grow and learn and get to our ideal life. I know you guys are going to choose the right hard, which is going after the life that you deserve. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. We got to do the work. Don't shy away from the work. Hope is not a strategy. Don't cross your fingers and be like, I hope this is going to work. It's not. You're going to work. And by you doing the work, you're going to make good stuff happen. Love you guys. Enjoy your Monday. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. Take care.